Alright, welcome back viewers to another episode of our Twitch stream highlights. Here we're gonna start out with Go League battles. We don't really have any shinies, and we're still gonna lead with a Alolan Raichu as far as a lead. The main thing is that, again, we have Wild Charge, and then in the back we have Venusaur, as well as a Skarmory. We have the lead against Hypno. He switches to Wigglytuff. I bring in Venusaur because Sludge Bomb. So here's Sludge Bomb 1. Sludge Bomb's super effective, so it's going to hit it very hard, but now its health is so low that I can switch to Frenzy Plant and burn shields quicker. So here comes the Frenzy Plant that I wind up for. Boom, down goes Wigglytuff. Now we have Toxicroak. I should be able to take it out here with or at least do a significant chunk of damage with Frenzy Plant. He shields, down goes Venusaur, and then I bring in Skarmory, and then I believe I attempt to farm down here because he doesn't really have anything that can take it out. But yeah, he brings in Hypno, I bring in Raichu to soak a charge move, which is going to be their Thunder Punch, and then I go for farm down, and then finish off with a Sky Attack. But yeah, he goes for a Mud Bomb. That tickles the Skarmory, and then now I go in for an Arrow Slash, which is going to do super effective damage and take out the Toxicroak. But yeah, now for our next highlight match, we're actually going to be doing 5 to make up for the fact that there's no shinies to catch today. But yeah, Raichu versus Ampharos. Ampharos is going to use Thunder Punch here because that's his main charge move. Then after that, he switches to an Altaria. I opt to switch out and preserve my Alolan Raichu. And then Skarmory and Altaria, he goes for a Dragon Pulse. I'm going to burn it down with multiple Sky Attacks until it goes down. Yeah, there's the Sky Attack 1, and then I think actually here I was going to start burning shields and then farm the Altaria down to have Sky Attacks ready for whatever switches in next, which is Ampharos. So I go for a Sky Attack here, and then I make a switch to Venusaur because I wanted to preserve my Skarmory's charge moves just in case. But he switches out, switches to Azumarill, which has Ice Beam. So I go for a Frenzy Plant here. It has super effective damage. I shield this because it's going to be an Ice Beam. Took me by surprise though, it's a Hydro Pump. So yeah, in comes his final Pokemon. I go for a Frenzy Plant onto the Ampharos, and then down it goes. It was a nice clean 3-0 sweep. Alright, so now for our next match, we have Raichu versus Medicham. Let's see, here I thought he was going to go for a Power-Up Punch to bait shield, but instead he goes for an Ice Punch, which I'm okay with letting it go through because it only does minimal damage. And then now that his health was low and he didn't shield, I was able to bring in Skarmory and then farm down the Medicham the rest of the way. In comes Azumarill, and then I go for the Sky Attack. Mainly just Sky Attack spam until Azumarill either switches or goes down. But obviously it's gonna just go down here. Either that or I opt for a switch. But yeah, I shield here because I predicted a Hydro Pump. And then after that, I just farm up as much energy as I can until he goes for another Hydro Pump. Once I predicted that he was about to go for it, that's when I went for my Sky Attack just to force a shield and like make him feel pressure to use it to as well. But yeah, again, he shields, uses Hydro Pump. I bring in Venusaur to burn it down, and then I have full energy to, or at least half energy, just enough to do a Sludge Bomb. And then go for another Sludge Bomb here. A Sludge Bomb 2, and then after that, I shield the Sky Attack. I attempted to switch, but he had enough energy to go for a Sky Attack before I could. Then I just polish it off with a Volt Switch. Alright, now for our next batch. Yeah, Wigglytuff versus Raichu. I opted to switch out. He opted to switch out because Skarmory will counter his Wigglytuff, and then yeah, he brings in Azumarill. Yeah, luckily he doesn't know that I have Venusaur in the back. But yeah, Azumarill, I go for the Sky Attack. It's mainly just Sky Attack over and over and over until it falls down. Yeah, I know it should have Ice Beam or something, but it uses Play Rough here, which means that it has Play Rough and Hydro Pump. I believe I don't shield here because I just let my Azumarill go down. Yep, bring in Raichu, trick him into bringing in a Whiscash. Yep, and then I shield. No, I don't shield because it was a Mud Bomb. But yep, in comes a Wigglytuff. I go for a Sludge Bomb. He goes for the shield. And then after that, I opt to go for a shield because Venusaurs are our best bet at winning this match right now. So, yep, in comes the Frenzy Plant. Hits the Wigglytuff, takes it out. And then now it's just a quick little farm down as much quickly as I can. But yeah, thankfully, I also have Grass Knot on Raichu, so I just figured that I could soak the Mud Bomb, switch the Grass Knot, and then do 2 Volt switches, and then... Oh wait, no, Venusaur went down, and I couldn't read the footage correctly because it's going so quickly. But yeah, down he goes. Okay, now on to the next match. It's Optimus Core Ray. Yeah, I mean, let that in to give myself a little breath. In a Ampharos. We go for a Grass Knot at the lead here, and then that does a significant chunk of damage. Do we opt to shield? No. Oh wait, yes we did, just to get that extra health. And then here comes another Thunder Punch. This one we let go through just because it was minuscule damage. And then now in comes the Marowak. I just knew that I could go for a Wild Charge here. Yeah. Then now that his health was low enough, I just went ahead and switched over to something else. But yeah, now here comes the Skarmory versus Skarmory matchup. And then let's see, Skarmory does a Sky Attack. I follow up with my Sky Attack. It's just Sky Attack over and over and over, once again, until something falls over. See, I just couldn't remember if I wanted to keep myself alive or not. But yeah, there's the Sky Attack right there. There we go. And then down goes my Skarmory because I didn't need it anymore. I shield here, go for a farm down, but unfortunately he brings in Marowak, but I predicted the switch into Marowak, so that's why I switched right away into Venusaur as soon as I felt that it was coming. And after that, I go for a Frenzy Plant onto Skarmory. Shields, and I go for a Volt Switch here. Actually, no I don't, I just go straight to the Wild Charge because look at that. Just teeny tiny sliver of health, and we win. Alright, but yeah, that's it for the Pokemon Go matches for today. Now we're going to switch over to the Road to Master Ball footage. We only had 2 matches today because that's all we need to get in here. Here's the team that we're using today. If you don't understand how it works, then just go back to the other video for reference. Alright. But yeah, so here comes the Grimmsnarl and Arcanine. We have Morpeko and Incineroar. But yeah, Arcanine goes for Intimidate, I go for Intimidate, and then after that we go for a Fake Out. Morpeko goes for a Parting Shot, so that way we shut down Grimmsnarl for 1 turn, and also cripple the Arcanine for some mitigated damage. We have Gastrodon coming in just to soak up some damage as well, because I predicted it was going to be like a Flame Charge or something like that. Flare Blitz, my mistake. But yeah, Grimmsnarl sets up the Light Screen, he brings in Venusaur, because that will threaten my Gastrodon. And then I believe I go for a Scald here onto the Grimmsnarl, and wouldn't you know it, I got the lucky burn. So yeah, he swaps out Venusaur to bait me, and then in comes the Arcanine for an Intimidate drop, but I was going to pivot out the Incineroar anyway with a Parting Shot. But yeah, here I bring in Dusclops, and then there's a Parting Shot like I said, and then we go ahead and pivot out. In comes Gastrodon, and then now we have to force another switch. Yeah, this match is very switch heavy. It's a lot of mind games. But yeah, Arcanine goes for the Snarl, and then after that I go for a Sludge Bomb onto Arcanine just to try and get some poison damage onto it. I do a Will-O-Wisp onto the Venusaur just to do some chip damage. Alright, and then he withdraws his Arcanine, brings in the Rotom. Since I was predicting that I was going to get hit by a Grass Attack, I switched over to Incineroar, but instead I get hit by a Sleep Powder. Yep, and then Dusclops goes to sleep. After that, I was predicting that I was going to, well, I was predicting that I was going to get hit by the Rotom, but he swapped out. There's the Fake Out onto the Venusaur to shut it out for 1 turn. just to make sure that I couldn't get hit by like a leaf storm or anything. We have Arcanine gets withdrawn. In comes the Rotom. I swap out Gastrodon. And then in comes the Morpeko. But yep, here we go. This is where he decides to go for a Dynamax. Yeah, in comes the Venusaur Dynamax animation. And then after that, we get hit by a Max Overgrowth. And then what you know it? Morpeko soaks it like a champ. After that though, I knew I had to switch right away. Yeah, I knew two things were going to happen that I needed to do. I needed to take out the Venusaur so that I can have Gastrodon come in nice and safely and finish the match. But yeah. And then he brings in Arcanine for the Intimidate. I opt to Dynamax my Incineroar and then go for the Max Flare. Obviously, it's going to give his Venusaur Chlorophyll. But yeah, Arcanine gets the Fake Out. There's Max Overgrowth onto Morpeko, and then down goes Morpeko. And then there's my Max Flare onto Venusaur, just to do that extra chip damage. But yeah, one more Flare Blitz should do it. But yeah, I was just glad that it Dynamax, so that way I could actually burn it down without having to worry about sleep. But because he knew that, he switched out his Venusaur early by like one turn. Yeah, that it was going for like the light screen setup because it was about to expire. Yep, there's the Grimmsnarl, and then this is what caught me off guard because I thought the Grimmsnarl was coming in to set up screens, but instead, yep, Arcanine goes for the Heat Wave, and then I go for the Max Darkness onto Arcanine to lower its special defense, or just to do some chip damage. I believe he was like predicting something, but either way, he goes for the Foul Play. I go for the I go for the Nightshade, and then down goes Grimmsnarl. They have no screens. Okay, so now that leaves us with having to deal with Venusaur so that Gastrodon can come in and safely finish the match. Yeah, they have no screens. In comes Rotom. Dusclops goes for an ally switch because I was predicting Sleep Powder. And he dodged it anyway, but I mean that worked in my favor because Dusclops would have eaten the Sleep Powder. So yeah, there's that. Now that Venusaur's down, Gastrodon can safely tank all the attacks. Or Gastrodon can actually safely soak all the Hydro Pumps that Rotom can offer. But yep, in comes Gastrodon. And then after that, there's the Heat Wave. Does very minimal damage. There's the Thunderbolt onto Incineroar. But yeah, and then there's the Parting Shot out just to cripple the Rotom. And then in comes Dusclops. But yeah. After that, they forfeit because they knew that I had them. So yeah, that was our first win for the set. There's a battle canceled. And then there's our rating going up. Alright, now for the next match. But yeah, it's Lapras versus my Milotic. But yeah, they were expecting the competitive. But to activate, and I knew that they were expecting that, so I just went ahead and ignored it. And didn't bring in Incineroar. Since he brought my Milotic and 2 water types, I just knew that I had to Dynamax Morpeko right off the rip because I outsped both of them anyway, so I didn't need to use Aura Wheel. And then I knew he was gonna G-Max his Lapras, so I had to take out my Milotic beforehand. But yeah, there's a Max Lightning to take out the Milotic. And now next up we have the G-Max Resonance. But yeah, it does minimal damage to Dusclops. And then now I'm in Hangry mode. There's Dragapult. I go for the Max Guard just to scout their moves. There was a Shadow Ball onto Dusclops. Dusclops tanks it very well. And then there's a Max Geyser. So now that I know that he's going to use Max Geyser at the next turn, I can turn around and bring in Gastrodon to activate the Storm Drain. Yep, and then of course I'm in Happy Face mode. There's a Flamethrower onto Morpeko. Morpeko goes for Max Knuckle onto Lapras. Because here I got a little risky. I just wanted to try to get our attack up just to get some sort of an offense. But yeah, there's the Storm Drain to soak the Max Geyser, and then Dynamax is over. But here's where Morpeko goes for the Brick Break, because I had a feeling that he was going to target the Gastrodon, since people always target Gastrodon because they think it's a threat. I go for the Brick Break, breaks their shield. He goes for the Freeze Dry to take out the, what's it called? The Gastrodon. So now I'm in Happy Face mode. In comes Dusclops. Lapras goes for the Protect. I go for the Ally Switch because I was thinking that they were going to attack my Dusclops. I want to keep it alive. In comes Morpeko. I go for the Aura Wheel, but Lapras protects it. But yeah, Electricity goes away. And then now here's the Shadow Sneak that I wanted to go for to take out Lapras because they were probably not expecting it. There's a Shadow Ball to take out Dusclops, and then I answer back with an Aura Wheel. So yeah, there we go. Morpeko makes another big play right there. Very big play. Take them both out. Dusclops gets a Shadow Sneak. And then that leaves us with Whimsicott. Just Aura Wheel, and he goes for the Energy Ball. Down goes Morpeko, and then we have Ironhead to finish out the match. Boom. That's a win. But yeah, and then of course here's Living Proof. There we go. We're in Master Ball. We're at rank 1000. So now the next step is to push our rating towards the, at least, let's start with the top 500 for the next video. But yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody. Be sure to watch our streams and read the comment section for information on the streaming schedule, where to watch the streams, and then Twitter handles to follow to get notifications on when I go live, as well as Facebook. But yeah, thanks again for watching, everybody, and see you next time.